Hey, hey, hello everybody, woohoo, doo 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 doo. Welcome to Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Hello everybody, I'm Rob. It's May 24th now. It's after midnight, 12:42 a.m. California time. This video probably won't be released till later today since I just did that Parkhurst hockey box, finished that off. But today is a special episode of Old Style Classics Baseball Cards that I've been waiting to do all year. Um, just hadn't got around to doing it. A lot of new cards come in, so I do those, or eBays and opening packs, and then have to pull out old stuff to show you guys, and then just never had the energy for doing it or whatever at the time. So anyways, today we're going to go ahead and do this. I've been waiting a long time to do this because earlier this week I got inspired by a collector's dream. Not particularly to do this video, but to finally get around to doing this video. Because he was doing that Hager's book of old pre-war cards. And a couple days ago he got to the episode of some of my favorite baseball cards of all time, which of course I don't have one of those originals, but he was showing those. They came from 1914 and 15, so that made me want to go ahead and do this video because I love these things. So anyways, it's now Friday morning, which I took off today, so I'm getting a 4-day weekend, so I need it. Been a little burnt out, and so I want to get this episode done because I believe I got a big eBay card coming in from authentication, so it may be here this weekend. It says it's going to arrive early. Please, if you wouldn't mind, I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I'm at 93. So if you guys subscribe, like, leave a message, get notified, share these videos with other people if you wouldn't mind. So as the title of my page, now I'm just using this patch. It's not named after the beer, but I like old style cards, old fashioned cards. I like old cards, pre-war, some vintage, 80s and 2000s, stuff like that. But one of the things I do collect are old style cards. That doesn't mean they have to be old cards in the sense of like pre-war. I like the old style look. But I like baseball cards in general, but I have a nostalgic kind of personality, and I like vintage old looking cards like Allen and Ginter's from Topps, Goodwin Champions from Upper Deck, Gypsy Queen, Helmar Brewing cards, and I'm also a big fan of Oddball cards or product issue cards, stuff that you got in other products. So today we are going to be doing a special episode. I'm not an expert on these things by any means, but I'm a big fan. So on Old Style Classics today we are going to address, that's right folks, Cracker Jack. So Cracker Jacks, it's actually called Cracker Jack, but take me out to the ball game, buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back for it. It's root for the Cubbies. They don't win like they didn't win today. It's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. I score some runs. I can't do Harry Carey. So anyways, the cards that I'm going to talk about today, here's, now these little things fall apart after years. The little pack that they came in. So these came in a box of Cracker Jacks or maybe a bag. And this, of course, was sealed like any other Toy Surprise, which they don't do anymore. They only give you like a little QR code or something. You could play little video games and maybe a sticker. But they have done stuff into the 2000s, but it's been about 10 to 15 years since they've done any cards, which is one of the reasons I want to do this set, because I want to get past these 90s things and get into the 2000s, show some of you guys some cards that you might not be aware of. But anyways, this is how the Tribute set came. I call it Tribute, not a reprint, because it's obviously not a reprint in the sense that it's not the same size as the original Cracker Jack cards from 1914 and 1915, which most people agree is one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful set of cards ever made. A lot of people like the 1915 because you could have sent away and got the whole set, and so they're all clean and pristine compared to the ones that you actually got in the product. No, they wouldn't have come like this. So I think the original Cracker Jack cards are actually about the size of this wrapper. In the ballpark, maybe a little, maybe not as wide. But me, I like circulated stuff that, you know, I like the sendaways, the premiums and stuff like that too, but I like the stuff that had to go through circulation where people picked it out. So like this came in a box of Cracker Jacks, and so they were doing a lot of stuff, you know, during the boom era, I guess probably the best way to put it, into the 2000s until, you know, licensing became ridiculous. So this is actually, and, you know, it's falling apart. So as you can see, that is, I'm going to keep it together for the packaging. So Evers, famous for the Cubs, but he's on Boston Nationals there. So the Braves, as Tinker's Evers Chance. And so these things just, I don't know, you would have peeled that apart. So that's what we're going to be looking at today for the most part, folks. But I'll get to some other stuff real quick. I'm not going to go into detail about some of the other sets because I'll save that for another day. But I kind of want to show you a little progression. So 1914-15, they did Cracker Jack. So that's super expensive, super beautiful cards. And then obviously in the 80s, into the 90s, they started to do more kind of stuff giveaways. But before they started putting them back in packs or boxes of Cracker Jack, they had a special event where these guys were all going to show up and do like a veterans game. And so they had these panels of cards that you could order or get at the event. So it kind of tells you what it is here. It was a charity event, and that is in 1982. So I always thought these cards must have came in a box, but I just found out recently when I bought these that no, it was part of this Old Timers Baseball Classic, kind of like the Legends for Lobos that I went to. And that is a 1982 Topps. And as you can see, in 1982 it was owned by Borden, mostly known for their milk, Elsie the cow. So at that event you could have got these cards or perhaps sent away for them. And so, not the most attractive looking cards. I'm not a big fan of these Cracker Jacks actually and some borders, but still cool cards. You can cut them out. You can find them on eBay, like cutouts like that. This is the National League panel. Banks, Span, Kiner, Mays, Snyder, Hank Aaron, Robin Roberts, and Eddie Matthews. And then the American League one, Mickey Mantle, A.L. Kaline, Tony Oliva, Harmon Killebrew. Of course, both of them have the Cracker Jack ad card. Bob Feller, Whitey Ford, Brooks Robinson, Larry Dolby. So this is one of their earlier things that they did to get back into giving baseball cards away. For Cracker Jack. Now I'll go ahead and show you these cards. So on 91, and I kind of like this card because it's circulated, and it kind of gets to what I'm talking about, how I like these kind of things. So on 91, they did Cracker Jack, these mini cards. So they're not micro, which I'll show you in a minute. Guess I need to readjust this, folks. Bear with me a second. Alright. Dagnabbit. Does not like that. Alright, there we go. So 91 Borden. These were done for Cracker Jack by Topps. It's 24 of 36 cards. And as you will see, a couple things about this is, one, it's got a pinch. Yeah, I kind of like it when something has that. I mean, because these cards aren't going to be super expensive or anything, so that's, you know, went through the printers and packaged in that little wrapper, and it got pinched when it's closed. You see that and stuff like Jiffy Pop. So I kind of dig that because it came with the product. I know that's going to make that not a high grade card, but that's okay. So this one here is Mark Gracie for my Cubby, so I had to show a Cub, of course. And that, the red back, those are Series 1. So they did these 36 cards and 2 series. So anyways, there you go. There's Mark Grace. And I'm just showing you these to lead up to the ones that I'm going to get at. Then there's Frank Thomas, Hall of Famer. The Big Hurt, or more like the Big Hunk. Centering's always an issue on these cards. Those are yellow backs, orange. Second series. So 20 of 36. So there you go. Those are the 91s. And then the next year, to save money, I would assume, they did another set in 2 series. And that is, for you Don Mattingly fans, Series 1, Don Mattingly. But they shifted over to Donruss. And they're cool cards. These ones actually look pretty neat. Now those other ones are the, the 40th anniversary ones, so those were pretty cool too. There he goes, Donnie Baseball, Donruss 92. So they went that route, and of course both of these are all logoed. So they paid the piper, so to speak, to get those logos on there. Now these cards that I'm showing you are ones that I pulled. I did get a whole stack of cards in Albuquerque in one of these little jewel cases of a bunch of unopened ones, and I believe they're mostly Donruss. So I'll get to that stuff when I get around to showing you more of these cards that I'm showing you right now. And then there we go, is a 92 Rickey Henderson, Hall of Famer as well. For you A's fans, Rickey Henderson, and that's Series 2. So same thing. They did it in 2 series. Okay. So they paid up, got the actual logos, and then they wanted to keep doing it because they were having a lot of success. But of course, like, here's the key with Cracker Jack. What I've always heard was Cracker Jack had to make a prize, the toy surprise in their packs, cost like 1 cent for them to still be profitable. And so obviously paying for the major league license keeps going up and up, so then you go from Topps to Donruss, which is cheaper, and then when that's expensive, you're still trying to cut costs but still have people excited about your product. So what do? And these are not reprints, these are tribute card, so it's the same original image but obviously a different size. So I'm not showing you original card because I don't have one. And so just to show you, that's the size of an original Cracker Jack card. Now that is not an original Cracker Jack, that's Topps redoing it. And these are the size of the 90s Cracker Jack cards. So smaller than a Tobacco Mini even. And so Cracker Jack, Topps did a couple Cracker Jack sets in the 2000s. And you can read about that. So 2005, they did a Cracker Jack set, and they also had the advertisement in there for a set that you can actually get in Cracker Jack back in 2005. But anyways, that is what the size of a Cracker Jack original would be, more like this size. So obviously these cards are not a reprint for multiple reasons. They're obviously not the same size, so they're not trying to trick you or anything. But just show you there, we picked that up about a month or two ago. Jorge Posada Yankees Bat Relic card. So those are beautiful. But at the same time, Topps did these. Cracker Jack themselves actually put their own cards out in Cracker Jack, so don't get them mixed up. These you could buy in hobby boxes and packs of actual cards. And then these cards actually came in a actual Cracker Jack snacks. So alright, let me set this aside. So what I'm going to show you, these are the 93. So to save money, what do is you go back into your history and you just take the images of your original cards and you put them out there. And I guess you could save yourself some money because you don't have to pay for the photography and all that, or Topps, and you print them yourself. So these are done by Gordon. I don't know if they're in any particular order here, but that's okay. You'll see why. Guess I should take a drink, folks. Sorry. Alright. Alright, folks. Before I show you that, a couple more things I wanted to show you was just to make sure you guys didn't get confused. So that is a Topps Micro, but that is based on the original Topps set that year. So we just got this one, Andre Dawson. So that's the Micro card from that same year. This is the Cracker Jack card from that same year. So my boy Andre was in there. And so the Micro card, you got these in a complete set of Micro cards, the whole 792 card set. And this is what came in Cracker Jack. So as you can see, the backs are completely different, although it's the same card on the front. So there's the Andre Dawson first year one. So not to get confused with these either. And oops, then there's the uncut. So that's the size of a regular card, folks. So regular card size, Cracker Jack when this is cut up, and the Micro. And this is a Cracker Jack uncut from that same time. So there you go. So here to show you my Dawson, and then of course I have the 92 Andre Dawson, the Donruss version. That's from the second series. Alright, so that leads us into these cards. Now these ones, this little stack here, are ones I actually opened back in 1993. Some of them, a few of them came from my brother, who also ate Cracker Jacks and saved them up for me. So maybe 10 of them, or 7 or 8 of them, are from him. The rest are ones that I pulled my own self out of packs because I love Oddball product issue cards. So that is sweet. So we're going to show you right here, Rube Marquard. So that is the same image as the 1914 or 15 Cracker Jack, but it's not a reprint because one, the size is wrong, so it's not trying to be like fooling you into thinking it's an original. And obviously the backs are nothing like the originals. So this, the word that I'm going to describe it, it's not a reprint set but a tribute set. So it gives you information about him there. So I'm not going to show you the backs of all of them. I'm just going to show you a few, and you'll see why in a little while. So there's the landscape card, Rube Marquard, and it tells you right there that is 9 of 24. So it's a 24 card tribute set. But in the 1915 set, it would have been number 43. So it obviously can't be a reprint if it's the 9th card. And this one was the 43rd card. Alright, so let's get through some of these ones I actually pulled myself. Connie Mack. It's funny, it looks like he has a bald spot there. So I don't know what the deal is with that. Number 10, so they may be in order. Here's your big one there, huh? Honus Wagner. Of course, it's circulated, so it's got a little bend in it. But that's okay, because these cards aren't super expensive, but they're some of the coolest cards, some of the coolest oddball cards, in my opinion. I love these cards because the Cracker Jack originals are next to Allen and Ginter, my favorite set of all time. Just the most beautiful cards. And this tribute set is a beautiful set because they're little, they're oddball, they're right up my alley. This is when, of course, I couldn't afford an old card or original or T206, and to pull these was just it was just a lot of fun. I love old school baseball, and these were right up my alley. So of course we'll show you the Wagner back, 3 of 24. Now of course I wouldn't mind having the original, but I guess you guys could probably guess who I'd really want to have in the original. So we got the Christian Gentleman, Christy Mathewson. There you go. Having a little focus problems here, folks. Still working on lighting issues over here. Adjust that light a little bit, maybe that'll help. Maybe that's a little askew. Sorry about this, people. Fudge. That's what I was saying. Just when it came in, it goes back out. I don't want this video to take forever. Alright. I've got another one. Christy Mathewson. Trust Speaker. Grover Cleveland Alexander, Philadelphia Nationals. Napoleon Lejeune, one of the greats. Got a couple there. That one's pretty well centered for one of these. There we go, Evers. That's the one we just showed you that was in that wrapper still. But as Boston. We'll go ahead and give him a moment. See if it says anything about the old Cubbies there. Yep. So not a big set, but a beautiful set. These tribute cards. You know, Branch Rickey probably made it in because signing Jackie Robinson, Fred Clark, Harry Hooper, I believe. Yep. Alright, some of these are pretty, this one's pretty damaged, but it's still a beautiful card, and it's still pretty cool. White Sox, I believe, is that? Yep. Don't worry about that card. Not going to throw it away because I have another one to show you anyways. Eddie Plank. Got a couple of Eddie. St. Louis, the Federal. So there you go. The National League, American League, and the Federal League. Short-lived. Best thing to come out of the Federal League was Wrigley Field. Rabbit Marinville. God, I gotta get me an original Cracker Jack card, folks. No, I can't afford the one that I really want, but they're just epically beautiful. John McGraw, not to be confused with Tim McGraw, or Tug, his dad. How many of you guys knew that Tug McGraw, the former pitcher, rest in peace, is Tim McGraw, the country singer's dad. Alright. Ed Walsh. Know about old Black Sox era. Ed Walsh. And Bush. Not George Bush, or, hey, Rob, George Herbert Walker Bush here. He might have been, he could have been related to us. Hey, Daddy, come on now. Didn't you play for Yale? Alright, so that's my little stack. I had these cards for ever since they came out. Just love these cards. Look at them all the time. Just beautiful. But I knew about this other thing I'm going to show you, and I just had to have it. And finally, I don't know, it's probably been 10 years now, but probably 6 or 7 years, something like that. I knew about this. Now, same thing like with the 2015 Cracker Jack. You can send away and get the complete set. And if you did that, you would get this. Now, I didn't get it because I didn't have that kind of money back then. But somebody did, and years later, like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, I picked it up off of eBay. It was like one of the first things I picked up off of eBay after not having used eBay for like 8 years. And that, my friends, was the Send Away Cracker Jack embossed album. So it's just vinyl, but it's just super cool, people. So it's a little album, and it's got the Cracker Jack ball players with this embossed. Now it'd be cool if it was leather, but I don't know what you had to pay, but I'm sure you sent in X number of Cracker Jack purchases or something like that, and you could order this book for, I don't know, $8, $9 or $5 or something like this. and it came with this. Enough pages in here to hold 3 sets, but it came with 1 set and the booklet. So first we're going to show you the actual album, and the inside here is just more vinyl, and it's got the little sleeves made specifically for these cards. Now right off the bat, folks, as you can see here, it came with a complete set. So a couple cards you didn't see in the last one, but there he is. There's the Ty Cobb. That's the card I want. If I could get any card, the 2 cards in my Grail collection, now that I've picked up my other Grail card, which was the 2006 Danica Patrick mini framed autograph Allen Ginter card, but like all-time baseball card, the original 1914-15 Cracker Jack Ty Cobb, and maybe the 1887 Allen Ginter Cap Anson are my Grail cards. You guys can have the Honus Wagner. I'll take this, and that is just epic. Now that's the card, the original everyone would want, is the Joe Jackson. Now granted, I would love to have that as well, or this, or any of them, but that's the one I really want because I'm a huge Ty Cobb fan. But anyway, so here we go. You got Ty Cobb, Joe Jackson, Honus Wagner, Christy Mathewson, Johnson, Speaker, Alexander, LaJoy, Mark Quad, sorry I don't have my glasses on, Connie Mack, Evers, Branch Rickey. We'll get to that backs in a minute. Fred Clark, Hooper, Zach Buckwheat, Tinker, so Tinker's Evers in here, Collins, there we go, that's another great one. Mordecai Three-Finger Brown, Chicago Cubs fame. St. Louis Federals there though. Eddie Plank, Marinville, McGraw, Huggins, Ed Walsh, and Bush. And so of course you got the backs here. So there you go, Ty Cobb. So hopefully we can see that, read that. Joe Jackson. So hopefully we can put each of those in there so you can read about that. All in order. Of course, centering is not the best on these cards, but just a beautiful tribute set. Beautiful packaging. Of course, this is a junk wax era, but this was a special little set that they did. I'm a huge fan of this. As you can see, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 extra pages. So each set covers 2 of the pages. So you could fit 2 more sets in here. I picked this up on eBay. I probably paid like 30 bucks or something at the time. I didn't care. I've been wanting this since this set came out. I knew about it. I wanted it. And so when I started buying on eBay again, this was the first thing I think I bought. I used to buy junk on eBay for like the bar at my old apartment, old style signs, you know, different like laughing faces. I'll show that someday. And so I don't know if we're going to be able to read all this, folks. Please leave a comment, like, and all that. But if you want to see any specific card, the back, let me know. I'll show you those. The only thing that I'm disappointed is it should have a little pocket here to hold the next cool thing that came with this, which is this little booklet. So this little booklet should have a little place pocket for it to sit. And so that is raised or embedded in there. And then they gave you this just beautiful, beautiful Cracker Jack ball players pamphlet. And yeah, just beautiful. And so what it did is it showed you the card, his stats, like his born, died, and all that, Hall of Fame, 1946. Of course, he's number one because he was the first person in the Hall of Fame. Then you give his career stats. And he played in 3 World Series. So it shows you extra stats like the World Series because, of course, they didn't have playoffs back then. You just won your league. You won the American League. You won the National League. And you played in the World Series. There wasn't divisions. Alright, then you got the Joe Jackson info. So the only thing they don't show is the back of the cards. But these aren't supposed to be the originals. They're showing you what these cards are. And so there it goes. Shows you played in 2 World Series. The stats there. And it even gives you nicknames. So like Joe Jackson, Shoeless Joe. Cobb, the Georgia Peach. Honus Wagner, the Flying Dutchman. And his stats. Page number 3 there. So please pause this at any time if you want to see these Hall of Famers lifetime stats. And little Cracker Jack. There's little dog Bingo there. So Christy Mathewson. Big 6. Alright. 373 wins, was 3rd all-time at the time. Walter Johnson, the Big Train, or Barney, with his career stats there. .416 wins, so 2nd all-time. Up to that point in time in 1993. Tris Speakler, the Gray Eagle, or Spoke. So there's some information you guys might not have known about, like their actual nicknames. Grover Alexander Pete. 373 wins. Nap LaJoie, Napoleon LaJoie, Larry, 3,251 hits, Rube Marquardt, .204 wins. So I know they had some nicknames for him, but they're probably not polite enough to put on here. So, alright, Connie Mack, the Tall Tactician. Shows you some of his stats when he played. Look at him playing in 1886. So, he was playing at the time like Goodwin and Allen Ginters first came out. Alright, Johnny Evers, the Trojan or the Crab. You can see his stats there. It looks at Chicago National League from 1902 to 1914. Through 1913, I should say. Of course, people argue about his offensive stats, whether they're good enough or not, but great defensive player, so like Ozzie Smith, does he deserve to be in for his offense? Branch Rickey, the Mahatma. Alright, not a whole lot of stats there. Or Fred Clark Cap. Must have been captain. Alright, folks. Waiting a long time to show you guys this stuff, so sorry this video is going so long, but this set is so important to me. So cool. It was closest I would ever get to original card back then, and well, at least I'd still get to enjoy it. And it wasn't like a reprint set by some other company. It was actually done by Cracker Jack. So Harry Hooper there, Zach Wheat, Buck Wheat, that's what they must have called him. Alright, moving along. Joe Tinker, the only Chicago player in this set, the 1993, but that's for the Federals, so for the Chicago Whalers, or Wales, Wales, yeah. Same thing. Defensive player, 31 career home runs. Eddie Collins, Cocky Collins. Made the Hall of Fame there. Mordecai, Three-Finger Brown, or Minor, with his 239 wins with only 3 fingers. Great Chicago Cub. Then you got Eddie Plank, Gettysburg Eddie, 327 wins. Gotta love these dead ball imaging and old uniforms and names and bats and their hats, the whole 9 yards. Rabbit Marinville, 2,600 hits. John McGraw, Little Napoleon. I don't know if that was a compliment at the time or if it was said behind his back, but one of the great managers. So there he is. Miller Huggins, Hug and the Mighty Might. Ed Walsh, Big Ed. And to wrap this up, we have Joe Bush, Bullet Joe. Not a Hall of Famer. From Fort Lauderdale, there you go, Orlando. Lives down there. And his video got me to finally get off my butt, light a fire under my butt to finally do this. And then the player listings page. So showing you what page they're on, all the fine print, 1993, just beautiful. It's nice stock, very reminiscent of old school, like tobacco era cards and sendaways and premiums and all that stuff. Just beautiful little set of cards, you know. Obviously not going to be worth a lot, but worth a ton to me because just love these cards. Love Cracker Jack. And I miss the fact that they did this kind of stuff. And like I said, you know, Topps had their own that you can get. But as I stated, we'll go into some of these. But this little thing that they're advertising here is some of the stuff they did in the early 2000s until maybe 10 years ago or something. And so I have some of these other things. And here are some sets of cards that, like that little advertisement. Now they did multiple ones, so it wasn't just this thing that they're advertising here. They've done some different things and they're pretty cool. Kind of like to remind you of those Kimball mini tobaccos that Topps did, but they have some different stuff, heroes and all-stars and super things that they've done, and I want to get to showing those. But before I showed those, I had to show these because that's my favorite thing that they've done since the originals, obviously. So here it is, people. There you go. on old style classics baseball cards. Some legitimately old style classics. I guess they're considered modern. I wouldn't call them ultra modern. They're in the modern era because they're 93, but we'll call it the boom era, they say. So some old style classics baseball cards from the boom era, and that is the 1993 Borden Cracker Jack tribute set. Album and loose cards, circulated cards. I don't know if the cards came with this. I'd imagine they did. And program, picture book. So hey everybody, thanks for watching, and please leave a comment. Tell me what you think of these cards. I know they're not like highly valuable as far as money goes, but just a super cool set, and I'm glad they did that. They kind of got away from just doing the same old that everyone else was doing, like a highlight set of modern players at the time. It was one of the first throwbacks. Well, I guess it's not one of the first, but it's one of the coolest throwbacks from that 80s, 90s era. Because some companies did pretty good. Maybe like the Leaf Candy Star team or some of those kind of things, and Nestle's did some pretty cool stuff, but then some other sets were kind of like, eh. But this one definitely a standout in my opinion. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. So let's turn the page so that we could do the next set, which will probably be the Donruss and Topps ones. And once I get moved past that, then I can move on to the other cards that I want to show you from Cracker Jack. I don't know if I'm just going to do it all this weekend, or if I'm going to hold out and do one like every week or something like that. But I'm excited to do this. I've been waiting a long time. I hope you guys like this, appreciate it. Tell me what you think. You know, did you guys go out there and buy that stuff? I'd go up and down every aisle looking for different kind of product issue cards, and when Cracker Jack had the stuff, I'm on it. So great stuff. Thanks for watching. Please share this with anyone who would like it, and let's see if we can get to 100 subscribers, and maybe I can finally order or get my first original Cracker Jack card. Alright folks, thanks for watching Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Have a good Friday, and we'll do something tomorrow. Hopefully I'll get that eBay card in. Alright, bye.